You know those musicians who stand on the side of the street with their guitar or ukulele, and they're playing a beautiful little song, and they probably have their hat set face up, and they're like, if you like my music, please donate. Yeah, I used to look at them and I'd be like, I can't really do that, because I played a piano, and you don't really see people lug pianos around the same way that you see a guitarist carry around a guitar. So, yeah, the piano keyboard might be a bit too unwieldy, but the next best thing are laptop keyboards. So I decided what better than to get my laptop to play sound. And it sounds a bit quiet because right now we have it so that it plays the standard sine waves. And then you'll find out later why we have the volume set so low. It's because the other waves are a bit more imposing on the ears. But yeah, so basically generating the actual waves didn't take too much time. The most time consuming part was getting the sound to actually play out loud. Gosh, okay, I could make a separate video about this, but basically at first, it was playing some strange clicking, popping sound, and that was because I set my sampling rate a little too high, and then basically I was doing an interrupt every single time I wanted to send a single sample to the sound driver, which wasn't so great on my computer. And then after that, after fixing that, I had an issue with latency where pushing a key would require me to wait 4 or 5 seconds before the sound actually played. So yeah, I could again make a separate video on this, but I'm just really happy that I got the sound to play normally. And now we can talk about the different waves that we are able to play. So what you just heard, that's the standard sine wave, which if you remember from school, it looks like this. Woohoo! So this is time, and this is the amplitude. Okay. And then another wave that I have is the square wave, where basically for all positive values, I snap it to a constant value. For all negative values, I also snap it to a constant value. Hence the name square wave, because it looks like a square. Heck yeah, these are rectangles, but just pretend that they are squares. Okay. And then a nice quality about square waves is that they sound a little bit more cleaner, because the way that we have this defined, the amplitude played depends on how much time has passed since the thread started running. So when you press a key, you might not necessarily hear the sound start at 0. It might actually start in the middle like this, or start here, and then that creates a not so clean sound. Whereas if it were a square wave, it would always snap to this constant value. So as a result, it would sound cleaner. And the square wave, if we can demonstrate, I like it because it has this little retro-y 80s feeling to it. And then just like prepared, it's loud. So yeah, that's the square wave. And then in addition to the square wave, we also have the triangle wave, which sounds a little bit like a mix between a square wave and the sine wave. And then, as you can imagine, it looks like a triangle. So it's basically where we have linear equations for this. And then if I play it out loud, it sounds like a cross between the sine wave and the square wave. As you can imagine, it sounds a little bit, I think, like a church organ, if you think about it that way. And then a close relative of the triangle wave is the sawtooth wave, which, if I can find good diagrams of it, it doesn't exactly look like a straight line. It's more like squiggly. Yeah, okay, the pen and paper does not do this justice, but you can find images of it on Wikipedia and you will have a better image of it. But yeah, basically like sawtooth wave. I implemented this in 2 different ways. One is a slower but more mathematically accurate way. The other one is an approximation. I'll just play the slower version just because I think it sounds nicer. And yeah, as you can see, it's like quite a bit louder, so I'll just adjust this a little bit. So yeah, and you can add waves together and combine different types of waves, as well as change their attack, decay, sustain, and release times to simulate different types of instruments. And I could also make a separate video about this if I want. But for now, let's just play some tunes, because I am in a very merry mood. So I changed seats. It's a little bit difficult, I'm not gonna lie. I just feel like it's a little bit strange having the phone camera right in front of my face, because I can't really see the keyboard too well from here. But yeah, we're gonna do our best. I was just getting warmed up. Okay, got one song down. I feel like with enough practice, we could get some really good tunes out of this. But I have to put this on a pause because I have to study for some midterms now. So good night and take care, guys.